Good morning, good afternoon, Solar Warrior Tribe, Power Hitters, and Power Community. I'm Tom Cotter, and I'm going to be running the show today. And Bill Conley is my co-host. He's going to be helping me out in the back here. I am in Kansas City, and we're supposed to have huge storms. Well, winds rolling in here in a little bit. 60 to 75 mile an hour winds is what they're projecting. Bill, what's the weather like in Stockton, California?
Pretty good for the middle of June. It's been not over the century mark. Wonderful, warm, great days for selling solar.
Very nice. I see your buddy Jared Foster is out probably driving around someplace around Stockton or someplace in California. He's all over the place. Jared's like, where's Waldo? It's like, where's Jared at right now? So
he's out building that team.
He's out building that team. That's right. Well, let me share my screen here and we can kind of jump into things for our Tuesday training. Again, welcome everybody. As those of you, we still got more people coming in here. This is our team training, but it's welcome for everybody in the Power community as well. We do this every Tuesday at 10 a.m. Pacific, and you are welcome. Your setters, your salespeople, your enterprise are all welcome to come on in and listen as we talk. And what we always like to do is start off with success stories. So you can share a deal you closed, you got a referral, you signed up a setter, a sales pro, maybe you signed up an ambassador, you had a commission get paid out. What is going on in your business? Not 5 minutes, but maybe 30, 60-second share would be great. I see Jared already has his hand up. Jared.
Well, good morning, everybody. I wanted to share, it was my first time recruiting somebody away from another company. So got into a conversation with a gentleman who was selling for a competition. And, he came over, went through all the certifications, got set up. And then yesterday we were working on two of his new clients that he's rolling over. So we should be able to help them and close them. And so super excited about that. And then brought in another new gentleman, got him set over into the new setter. And we are in the process of closing a solar and roof with them. And then I also wanted to just take a moment and give a shout out to our leader, because yesterday, Tom, it was your birthday. So everybody in the chat, let's give Tom some love.
Thank you. The Senate in Washington didn't know that it was my birthday. So if you could say that a little bit louder, that might be helpful. But thank you. It was a good day. And some of the kids even remembered, so that was cool. Oh, other success stories. Thanks for sharing, Jared. Jordan Shaw, if you are available to talk, would love to just hear about any success that you have had in driving urgency. I've seen some of your activity online, and you're really making a hard push for people to jump in now to make sure that they maximize all the incentives out there for solar.
Yes, I mean, just the last week, I had a homeowner that they just kind of felt the urgency. The wife really wanted to push the system to a ground mount. And so it was like literally, it took us, I spent like an hour and a half, 2 hours with the both of them, just going through all the numbers and process and stuff. But it was a $97,000, project, kind of sit and sign. So the urgency is definitely there. It's funny you're saying that, Tom. I'm actually updating my summary that I send out in Superhuman with a no tax credit and a tax credit number. Like I want to start like incorporating that as something that I don't feel like I've done before, especially since now that it looks like we may not get a phase out, right? We may just have this insane wave like we did from NEM 2 to NEM 3, but at a national level. So right now, we don't want to have too much fear into like what we're doing, right? We want to drive that urgency. We want to let them know, say, hey, like it might run you $9,000 to $12,000 more, if you wait too long here. So a lot of our savvy homeowners are really going solar now because they agree that pricing for solar and batteries is the lowest it's ever been. And from a conversation perspective, I had this again and again last Friday on the golf course when we were sponsoring a hole, Zach and I. And that's what we were talking about. We were talking about, hey, like everybody agrees that this year is the most inexpensive time to go solar because everything has, we have tax credits that are available. We have pricing of storage that's dropped 35% in the last 18 months. It's great. Is it going to be really great still in 2026? Yeah, because the utility is going to want to get you every single time. I really am driving that urgency with homeowners, and I think John Wilson's doing this really, really well. He is like knocked, and I see your hands raised now. But we're lighting up a chat where what are you up to now, man? 5, 6 for the month, making me look bad at this point. What's going on, brother?
Yeah, man, I'm at 5 as of last night. So
look at you.
yeah, so much free urgency, you guys. Yeah, I saw Kyle hopped on the call. Excited to bring him into the team in the fold. If you want to say something, Kyle, you're welcome to. But just a bit about Kyle. We go back all the way to 2018 Vivint Solar Days, and he's out in the Ohio market. So he's done over 400 personal installs in his career. He's coming onto the platform, checking us out. So super excited to have you, Kyle. If you want to hop off, you're welcome to. If not, that's fine too.
Awesome.
Thank
No,
you.
hey man, thanks for having me. I'm just here to listen today and to meet you guys and see what you got going on, man. I'm excited. Thanks.
Thank you, Kyle.
Thank you, power lifter Jonathan Wilson. The tank top is like, and look like you should be lifting over there right now. Looking good, man. Barry Besser, what is
How you
up?
doing, Tom Knowledge Base Cotter? Good to see you.
What's going on in your business?
Well, yeah, I was honored not last night, but a week ago on the Monday night Zoom to be interviewed by Bobby Smith. I pinch hit for one of the guests that was supposed to be interviewed that wasn't able to make it. Chris Brunasso was hosting, and he asked me if I would be available just in case, and I said, sure, why not? And so that was a lot of fun. I was honored to be in that position.
That's awesome, man. I love it when people are stepping up. I don't know if you saw, but Bobby Smith is actually stalking us today and listening in. At least he was. Yep, he's still there. So
Hi,
love
Bobby.
it. I love it when people are willing to just jump on to Power Hour on Monday night and just get asked a few questions by Bobby and not talk for 15 minutes after one question, but just share your success, and it's great. It's not too complicated, right? And then the cool thing is that when you're talking to somebody about working with you in Power, you can send them that recording that you were on Power Hour, talking with Bobby, whether you were presenting or being interviewed. I love it. I love it.
Are we allowed to discuss that?
Go for it, man. You got to
Yeah.
win, Bobby. You got to share a win if you want to share a micro training.
Win is we're locked in to plan this major event in June at Power Factor at the end of the month. Tom's working with that, us with that. If anybody has anybody in the Baltimore, Washington area, again, it's at our installer's new training facility. We're going to repeat that event in July in Orlando with Charles Thompson. I just got another sale closed, so I'm doing what you're doing every day, folks. I got 5 responses from next door. 5 total responses to emails that I sent out to people that were 2 years old in my system. Just giving them an incentive to join now before the tax incentives go away. Just 2 things real quick. Again, we're still looking for presenters on Monday night. I have no idea why everybody doesn't line up to present on Monday night. Some of you have jumped up, taken the lead, gotten it done. Congratulations, build your brand. And then the easy one is the interview. Why hasn't every person on here been interviewed, right? It's not for the company. It obviously helps. It's for you. It's your national brand. If you've never presented on Monday night, you got to explain that to me. If you've never been interviewed, that's even a tougher one, right? There is a spreadsheet. We can put it in here. We have a couple openings coming up. again, the common theme of everybody on there is that they all make the most money in the company. Every single presenter pretty much makes the most money in the company, right? You can look at the leaderboard most of the time. So love to have you. You don't have to, you can't make a mistake. It's just fun. You show your team that you're in the lead. You're setting an example for them to follow. If you don't speak, they're never going to speak. If you don't get interviewed, they're never going to get interviewed. You can never ask anyone to do anything that you're not prepared to do yourself. So I would encourage all of you, maybe we can throw it in there, Tom, or I'll throw it in there, and rock and roll.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, I
yeah.
completely agree, Bobby. And if you're worried about what to say, whether if you're a presenter, so if you just go in knowledge base and type in Power Hour, the whole slide deck with notes about what to say is there. It's a pretty easy thing, and then you can just customize it a little bit, and you're good to go.
Yep. Hey, can I say one more thing, Tom? Just a preface here.
Go for it, and then we're going to jump over to Michael.
Hey, just real quickly. Sorry, Mike. We want to make sure everybody's not getting ahead of this bill. The big stupid bill, right? Nobody knows anything yet. We know what we think it looks like. We know what they said it looks like. It hasn't gone back to the House. It hasn't been ratified. It is not a bill. It is not law. It's nothing, right? So we are prepared for this. You'll hear some of the things that we're doing, which will blow your mind, and you're going to come out better than ever before. But I would highly encourage you to stay away from the conversation because it doesn't exist. It's in people's minds right now. What we need to do is all of us, me included, keep our heads down and sell as much solar in what is predictably going to be the biggest solar gold rush in the history of the United States, or the world for that matter, over the next 3 to 6 months, depending upon where the language lands. So this is just head down time. Charles was flooded with 25 different opinions before he woke up this morning about the bill. I just killed a post in Pioneers. Somebody was posting, now that the bill has been passed. What? Did I miss something? Right? Nothing has been done yet. We're just selling our asses off. And let's do everything we can while we can. I will put that note in. I'll put the spreadsheet in the chat in a moment. So just as a basis for this whole thing, don't jump the gun. Don't be part of the problem. Be part of the solution.
Well said. Well said. Michael, you got your hand up, buddy.
Hey, yeah, how are you guys doing?
Good, man.
So I've got a win, a story, and a technical question around the story. So the win was, after years of working with my roofer, it turns out that he wants to go solar, and he needed the cash. We got the roof done for him. We put it in a loan, gave him the cash, and he got installed last week. So that was a good win, and he's given me a couple leads over time. It's always good to work with a bunch of different roofers and stuff. The story is I actually signed a deal for like an 80 panel ground mount array. Pretty wealthy guy. He's done solar on his business, and he's doing solar on his residence, and he had this beautiful farmland property. It was an array with a small battery backup. You only want 10 kilowatt hours on the battery. It wasn't a whole home backup or anything like that. He just wanted it in there. But 90% of the way to getting that approved and, working with the utility and so forth, he found a new property, and bigger, massive property, still wants the solar, but we had to switch everything over. I was able to get the deposit over there and everything like that. And we're working at the other property, but the other property had some bigger constraints in that it was so massive, like between the house and where he wanted the array was a giant pond, stream. So we looked at over the stream, like instead of trenching through, we have to, go above ground 300 feet. There were issues now on the battery, all this kind of stuff. Fortunately, nobody had really talked about it, but there was, it's such a massive property. We didn't even know what was on the property, what wasn't on the property. Turns out there's a big barn right next to the house.
Is there a question here?
Yeah. Well, that was my story. So we actually were able to re-sign him on the new property, move it to the barn. The question was about the 10T. I think we're calling it the 10C in the system, but We can't do the 5Ps anymore, but I think there's some constraints on the total number of panels that can be backed up with the 10T. Does anybody know with the 10T, can we get past the 48 panel limit? That
I don't know. Talk to your leadership. Maybe somebody can answer in the chat. So
okay, all right, yeah. If somebody's good with that and knows about that, there's a constraint on the battery. So anyway, that's my win and my story with a sort of a win in there. And
thanks, man. Congratulations. Congratulations.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about some announcements here. I want to make sure that all of you get some value out of this training here. So TPO workshop every Tuesday and Thursday, 11 p.m. Pacific. That's on powercalendar.com. Make sure you are looking at Power Calendar. Look at the email, the weekly Power email that was sent out yesterday. Make sure that you're reading through that information. Tonight in Las Vegas is a business launch. I know that Colby, Chris, John, and Chris Callier, or maybe Janine too, are going to be out there for that. That's one of the 3 events that we have that are coming up. This one's tonight. Then we have Baltimore on the 28th, and then Orlando on July 19th. Yes, I think I got that right. So those are some of the events that we're going to be talking about today in this training. But I want to make sure that I mention Power Up Handoff and Power Up Launch. This is our new weekly 2-pack of events every Monday and Wednesday. Then it's specifically for all of the setters that you are bringing onto the platform. So when you're talking to those setters, make sure that you're setting expectation that whether or not they have completed the 20-minute certification, that they are showing up to those events. I know Bobby, myself, Charles, the people on Leadership Council are going to be, chatting tomorrow as a part of our meeting for Leadership Council. Just always providing feedback and input to up-level those Power Up events that we are doing each week. Then, Bobby mentioned Power Hour a little while ago. Next week on Monday the 23rd, I'm going to be hosting Power Hour. I'm going to be presenting, and Carlos, who many of you kind of got blown away by when he was on stage at Solar Saturday. Just an incredible guy and building a solid team. I think he's got 22 people he's brought on to Power. He's focused on door knocking in California. He's going to be interviewed by Bobby along with Christopher and Janine Callier, which of course all of you all know from the multiple times they've been on stage and doing great stuff with us. All of them are located in California. Christopher and Janine are in the Fresno area. So looking forward to being on Power Hour with them. And last thing I'll mention is the 26th. We've got Jonathan, Cynthia, Zach, and others who are doing an update for real estate on solar energy on Thursday, the 26th. And that's going to be online. That is on Power Calendar also. All right, let's jump into some training here. No perspective from me this week, just because I knew we had lots of wins to share and I got lots of stuff to talk about. So I want to make sure that we end on the hour also. So the topic today is how to use local power events to grow your income and impact. And I've been thinking through how I can create a playbook for myself, my team, share things with the broader Power community about using these local events to build my business. And I want to share just a couple things that I've put together as thoughts that maybe aren't completely obvious to everyone about events. And I'll start with, what we're going to be talking about is why you should be doing this, how to do this, who to reach out to, how to reach out to people, how to build a list around this. And then of course, some AI stuff we'll sprinkle in here as well with some prompts and templates and tools that I think are interesting. I've been spending a lot of time thinking about this over the last couple months, and tried a lot of different things and realized that some of the things that I thought were going to be really cool were just, they work, but they were just expensive. So many of you have seen the Team Builder calculator before. Let me make sure if I can zoom in a little bit more to make that larger for some of you. I want you to just imagine that, you know, if you had a goal of, you know, promoting 12 events over the next 12 months. Some of those events might be in the same month, but, you know, 12 events over the next 12 months. And however many people you got to show up to those events, if you just had, you know, five people that signed up for your Powur business, you know, over the next 12 months each month, that would be 60 people added to your business. And this is a team builder calculator. It's specific for setters, but we're not talking just about setters right here, okay? I just want you to imagine this scenario where you bring on 60 different people and or businesses over the next year, and each one of them sets one appointment per week. They don't recruit anybody else. They're just in your business. And there's a close rate of 25%. And let's say that the bill in Washington goes through, okay? And the average project margin goes down a bit to 6,000, okay? And you got a cancel rate of 15%. So what that would look like in your business is 662 installs just from this activity right here. And you can see this this link right here. Let me put that in the chat for you. If you haven't, just in case you have never seen that calculator that I am showing there right now. There you go. Yep. There's the link to the calculator. All right. So let's take that same data. So that's 3,118 sits, 662 installs at a 25% close rate and a 15% cancel rate, just to plug in some numbers there. So that's 50 sits a week. Do you see Jonathan Wilson puff up there? 50 sits a week, 50 appointments a week. So 62 weekly sits. If you're working 5 work days, that's 13 daily sits. That's too much even for Jonathan Charles Wilson to handle. Probably, maybe not, probably. So let's say you spread that out among 4 different closers. So 5 days a week, that's 3 sits per closer, okay? So your business of inviting people and businesses to these live events, if you get in 60 people over the next year, 5 a month, 5 per event is the goal there. That's 662 installs. Now, if the commission is $6,000, let's assume that, you know, it could be more than that, could be less than that, could be more. But let's assume $2,100 commission for closers at a $6,000 margin. For all of those installs, that's 1.3, almost $1.4 million split up among those 4 closers. That's about $347,000 each in commission. If you're confused about how I came up with that commission number, there's the little calculation I used right there. Now, if you look at closer commissions and revenue share together for those projects, if the revenue share, if this was all in your organization, if you had setters and closers in your org, you can see the revenue share and commission add up to a little over $500,000 a year, about $48,000 a month. That's pretty significant, right? So that's income. That's one of the reasons why this is an interesting strategy for me. And also homeowner savings. If you look at 662 installs, if the average homeowner saves about $40,000 over their lifetime with that solar system, of course, that'll vary by state utility and home. That's $26 million in lifetime savings for those customers for everyone that went solar, that year on average. So that's a pretty big impact that you're making in people's lives. So that's why it's interesting to me. There's also benefits of reduced air pollution, reduced mortality rates. But let's say that one person avoids a premature death from those installs for that year. That's a pretty big difference that you could make there. Jesse's asking, can you please post the spreadsheet you made for determining the reps KPIs to determine certain income? Yeah, I can look that up and save it later. I just went to this website right here and plugged in these numbers to get those KPIs. So I didn't use another spreadsheet. I just used this tool. And let me post that again in the chat. If you want to just use this one, which is all I did. But your mileage may vary, based on close rate, cancel rate. But those are some pretty basic numbers there. Let's talk about who to invite and how to build a solid list fast. I wanted to mention this because I think we overlooked this. I made a post on Facebook and I got a ton of engagement from the Powur community and even outside the Powur community. I had people join my team as a result of this post. And it was just a post that I just imported 6,000 leads into my system. And all I did was export my iPhone contacts into a CSV file. That was my leads list, right? So, and then I was like, oh, maybe I should tell the team how to do this. So I've got the instructions here, and again, I'm gonna share all of this document at the end, but I will post this in the chat for you so that you can have the instructions whether you have an Android or an iPhone. It's basically just going into your contacts and selecting your contacts and exporting them. And then what if you had that CSV list and you went into ChatGPT and you just ask it, which are the area codes within a 45-minute driving distance of Las Vegas, Nevada, Baltimore, Maryland, Orlando, Florida. And it picked out the phone numbers off of your contact list, who you should reach out to first for a local event, right? Let me show you something in ChatGPT. I don't know. Have any of you heard of ChatGPT before? I've talked about it a few times. Maybe you've heard about it. Let me show you something that's only available for people with a paid account. I realized when I was telling somebody about this a couple of weeks ago that, and even my daughter, who's 13 years old, who was trying to figure out something on a graphic design program on her computer, she had a free ChatGPT account and she didn't have a paid one like me. But let's see if this works here, if you can hear it. So somebody give me a thumbs up once ChatGPT starts talking. I want you to make a list of all of the area codes within a 45-mile driving radius of Orlando, Florida. She'll start talking.
So the main area codes around Orlando are 407, 689, and 321. They cover a pretty wide area, including Orange, Osceola, and Seminole counties, and even parts of Volusia and Lake counties.
Make me a list of all of the cities within a 45-minute driving radius of Orlando, Florida.
There are quite a few cities within a 45-minute drive of Orlando. To the north, you've got Sanford and Lake Mary. To the west, there's Winter Garden. Eastward, you can reach Titusville, and to the south, Kissimmee is.
Okay, I'm going to stop there, but I wanted to show you what you can do with just voice mode, and you can just dictate rather than typing as well. But if you're like out walking and you think, oh, I wanted to ask ChatGPT this, you can just start voice mode if you have a paid account, which is like 20, 25 bucks a month. And you can ask a question. Bobby's now perked up a little bit. Oh, I can ask questions to ChatGPT while I'm out walking and hiking. And then when you come back to it, it will be in text format so that you can reference that as well. And you can even dictate, okay, make me a list of all of the cities within a 45-minute driving radius of Orlando, Florida. I want this in a format I can copy and paste into Google Sheets. You can dictate that as well, and it'll put that together for you. That can be interesting for a lot of different reasons, because you can target realtors in Winter Park, realtors in Lake Mary, realtors in Longwood, rather than just kind of the generic Orlando, and you can kind of fine tune your stuff there. So you can see, wow, there's, what the heck? There's a Christmas, Florida. Didn't even know that. Find out new things all the time. You're welcome, Malia. So after you have your contacts list from your phone, you can literally copy and paste a picture of that list into ChatGPT, and it will read that image, and that's when you can ask it, tell me which of these area codes are within a 45-minute driving radius of wherever this local event is going to be located. And that way, it's a super fast way to target all of the people from your contacts as well. And then you can go back to that list for other events. Like you could do that for Vegas tonight, for Baltimore on the 28th, for Orlando on July 19th. And you could keep doing that, right? You could create events with team members in different cities based on where you have the most contacts in your phone as well. You could use that to prioritize where you want to help organize an event. All right, local Facebook connections. I've talked about this before, but I don't think I talk about it enough. So if you go into desktop mode, browser mode of Facebook, and you type in friends in California, it's going to make a list of your friends in California. And you can prioritize reaching out to them from ones that you're friends with, and then go to ones that you're following. Friends in Florida, friends in Las Vegas, friends in Maryland. This is a great way to connect with people who are a little bit warmer than just a cold outreach to somebody that you're not connected to, right? And I'm going to talk a little bit more about what to do when you reach out to them. That's a little bit small. Let me make it larger for you, but I wanted to show you the same thing on LinkedIn. So I just went to LinkedIn. This is not Sales Navigator. It's not a paid account, but you can just go and type real estate and click on your first level connections and locations. In this case, I just typed in Greater Orlando area, and you can see that I've got 5 pages of connections of people who are in currently or have been in real estate in the past. And you can also filter by second and third level connections. I was looking in the Baltimore, Maryland area, and for real estate, there was 9,000 connections for real estate people in the Baltimore area. And for LinkedIn, you can use, there's lots of different tools that are out there. Expandy is one that I've used before if you want to automate connection requests. So it's a paid service, but it will go through that list that you are not connected to yet, send them a connection request, and then you can also automate a first message. Please do not send a super long first message with M dashes. Those are the long dashes with lots of emojis and lots of information and ask. Most of the time, if David Steele is still on this call, even David, would agree that sometimes you don't even need to say anything at all when you send a connection request. He may even say that that is a higher percentage of connections accepted if there's no message with it. Then you can send a message later on and make sure that that sounds like a human. Another thing that you can do is to scrape a business city, scrape a business type in a city. And I've looked at lots of different tools around this, and Outscraper is a good one that I haven't really talked about with too many people yet, so I wanted to share it with you. This is a list of real estate and financial professionals that you may want to think about, home service providers that you may want to think about. As far as this, I'll go back and say real estate and insurance are two industries that have been hit really hard, and they are probably in a bit of pain more than others if you're reaching out to them. But energy efficiency, solar adjacent stuff is on here as well. I'll share this link when we're all done here. Interior and remodel trades. And here's the tool Outscraper. I'm not going to actually do a live demo of this. You can figure it out. It's pretty easy. They've got a YouTube channel that walks through things as well. You can use it for free, and you can scrape 500 business contacts a month. The next month, you can sign up under another email address and get another 500 for free. So there's my hack for you. Or you can buy the Outscraper tool. There's a link here that I will include. And if you use this code, you can get 50% off. And if you are a Rakuten member, we're doing a little price hacking here. You can get $30 from Rakuten. And so you either have a cost of $34 or $28 if you're a member, an AppSumo Plus member. So all that will be in the link as well. But what you can do with that is you can say, I want all of the real estate agents in Orlando or Christmas, Florida, or wherever, whatever city you want to scrape. It will have names, phone numbers, emails, websites, LinkedIn profile, sometimes the personal LinkedIn profile and the business profile as well. It's got some good data in there. Alternative scraper, I mentioned that. Outscraper was one that the Outscraper was better, but Instant Data Scraper is a Chrome extension you can also use. Last thing here, just because I wanted to throw in a prompt that I wrote to test this out, and you can use it as well. Sometimes it's easier just to throw a prompt into ChatGPT and rather than download a program and try using that. But I've got the prompt here. It's too big to put into chat, but you will have access to this document after I'm done. And this is a prompt that you can use in ChatGPT to have it go online. You want to turn on web search in ChatGPT. It'll go online and make you a list of businesses. Not in my experience, not as good as Outscraper data, but it's another option for you, okay? And third, how to drive high quality RSVPs even if you are remote. So thank you, Bobby, for this idea here, but let's talk about chess versus checkers. So a checkers mindset is you just invite someone to show up to the event, right? Versus a chess mindset where you get in their head, you meet in person or over Zoom, and you get that person to become the inviter. You know, that could be an invitation to Powur Hour as well that is before that in-person event. And let me just share a little story here. So I did some deep research on a bunch of different AI platforms, including Grok, Gemini, ChatGPT, DeepSeek, and Storm from Stanford. And one of the questions that I had at research was, I positioned it that they were a local marketing expert. The goal is to get the most butts in seats at our event for the lowest cost. And one of the common themes across all of those deep research data that came back was finding local people who have a following, a network, who have influence, and using them to drive traffic to the event. Across the board, that was the lowest cost of acquisition, time-wise and money-wise, for getting attendees at our event. So as you are inviting people, think about how you can start some conversations with that person well before the event and cast this vision of them not just attending, but also inviting. And if they're going to do that, they need to have a little bit more information about Powur, which can come from a Powur Hour event live on Monday night or a recording, and also some conversations with you. So the idea is that you're not just getting them to attend the event, you're getting them to own the room by preloading it with their influence. So here's the 3 laws of pro event promotion, the law of now. Don't wait for the event, book the one-to-one today with somebody that you're wanting to come to the event. You can send them the flyer, the Eventbrite link, book a coffee or a Zoom with them. And the law of transfer is to show them how to invite their network, before maybe even before they've even registered. Cast that vision early of them inviting their network. And the language there is, you don't have to be the solar expert. You just have to be the reason why somebody shows up, right? And your authority is you're not just looking for a setter. You're looking for someone who wants to override renewable energy revenue in the state of Florida, in the state of Maryland, in the state of Vegas. So for you and your people, teach posturing, that people are attracted to, big energy, good energy, and a clear vision, that this is a lot bigger than just an event. This is a catalyst for their business that could be incredibly significant for them. So think about who who are serious networkers. And that could be a barber. Barbers are amazing networkers sometimes. Real estate, educators, pastors, gig leaders. We've talked about LinkedIn, Facebook. Think about your warm market also, people who are in your contacts, in your phone. And book a meeting with them. That can be a coffee, Zoom, in-person chat. And the purpose of that is to shift their mindset from just being a guest to being a promoter of that event. Okay? So imagine if that person, imagine if you had 3 to 5 people show up who each had 3 to 5 people that showed up. What would that do for your business in Powur? What would that do for their business in Powur? Bobby, any comments there? I mean, you kind of inspired this this stuff.
Yeah, Tom, it's brilliant stuff. Thank you so much. Really, I learned so much from Tom. So practical example, people. I'm connecting with people. I'm leading by example for the Baltimore event. I run into a young man on LinkedIn. I make a LinkedIn introduction to him and Craig Bloom. And now I'm in Craig Bloom's ear every day now. That's not necessarily a good thing. I said, Craig, so what am I going to say next? He has no idea. He hasn't learned me yet. It's not about this guy, whether he can be at the event or not. Nothing to do with that. The goal is to get with him now. Get him through the information now, like Tom said. Get him to Monday night now. Go meet him for a freaking cup of coffee now. Stop living on freaking computers, right? Go engage, right? And then the goal is, again, not to minimize who he might be. I need setters, right? I need closers. I need people on my team. Fuck that, right? I'm looking for people that want to override the renewable energy in the District of Columbia for the next 25 years. How big is the picture, right? I talked about this at multiple meetings. And then meet with him, teach him the invitation process, have him get some people on the phone with you, have him have some guests there, meet with them early ahead of time, 30 minutes early, have a cup of coffee, get to know each other, right? And even bring the guy up on stage as a testimonial, right? Get him his first look at what it means to say something. Here's plan B. The guy says, I can't make it. No problem. Just let's get on the phone with your guys. Let's meet them for a cup of coffee. Let's get on a Zoom. Let's have them come anyway. You don't need to be there, right? So again, this is the difference, people. When you wonder why some people make it through changes in industries and some don't. When you wonder why people make X amount of income for some time and then they don't make it. And I've been screaming this for a long time. Some people hear it, some people don't. You got to diversify your portfolio. You got to have income coming in from multiple markets. You just have to. It's 101. So the people that are playing checkers just say, hey, I hope to have somebody at that event. The people that are playing chess are recruiting now, engaging now, training now, maybe getting their first victory now, inviting their friends now, and you turn that one potential person into 4 or 5 enrollments at the event. And that's what those playing chess do. Any questions about that? And it's fun. And you're teaching them at the same time. Remember, your goal is not to recruit them. Your goal is not for them to become your people. The goal is to teach them what you're doing and the philosophies behind what you're doing, why you're doing it. That's called leadership development. That's called market development. That's what it is. And you know what I get most excited about? People may not like to hear it, or they may like to hear it. I like it different cultures. I want to see someone of different ages, skin colors, religion, sizes, sexes, because everyone wants to do business with their own in this country and this world throughout history. I've watched people tap into one person of a certain faith, color, size, shape, whatever it might be, and build millions of dollars in revenue because they could get into a culture that I couldn't necessarily get into. And that's the game I play. I play chess. You can play whatever you want. You can color, you can draw within the lines, you can go outside of the lines. You can be an AI freak like Tom is. He's teaching me every day. Again, it's the combination of high tech where it meets high touch. That's the ball game. One is no good without the other. And that's what I trained on last Saturday, building relationships in this high tech world. And Tom's the master of high tech. And we talk about, and he's also great at high touch. So he's that perfect example. So again, well, folks, again, I can't emphasize this more. This is Tom's gig. I know he's going to close it out. We are entering into some new world of solar. And you're going to make a decision whether you want to play the same game, checkers, or whatever you've been playing, or whether you want to pick up a chessboard and get into a higher level of how to build in markets that are going to make the most sense in a new world that we're living into. Because you're going to have to get great at building in markets outside of your local city and state if you want to not just survive, but thrive and get ready for the next wave, whether it's a new shift in government, whether it's a new shift in policy, whether it's acts of environmental this, whether it's terrorism, whether it's COVID, whatever the next thing is. And we know they're coming because they've been coming for 5 years now, right? The goal is to get in front of that and be great at these things. That's what I do. That's what I try and do. That's what I try and teach. Okay? And anybody who wants to ever have a personal conversation with me, I am at your disposal because that is what I love to do. Teach people how to build armies.
Good stuff. Hope that sunk in with me more and with everybody else as well.
I hope I pissed some people off. How'd I do?
Sometimes we got to hear it multiple times, right?
Different volume.
Different volume. Yeah. All right, let's close this off here. Last thing that I wanted to share is how to attract setters, sales pros, and business referral partners. If you are reaching out to people who are in your contact list or network on Facebook and LinkedIn, like we talked about, or another platform, I see people making the mistake of even using ChatGPT to write this comprehensive first message that's like overwhelming to people. Like it's got emojis and asks and business information. And here's what I have had success with, reaching out to people who I'm connected with. I say, we've been friends on Facebook for a while, but I don't think we've ever actually talked. Are you still in Orlando working in real estate? Or are you still in solar? And just a quick question. That's a much easier message for people to digest and not just pass over than some big, some big post that you've spent a lot of time trying to fit all your information into. And then, the Ford method that we've traded on multiple times: family, occupation, recreation, dreams. Just be a human and start a conversation with them, whether it's on chat or pick up the phone and call them, if you know them. And I would say find a way to bring value to them. That can be, if you're a person of faith and they're going through something, you can pray for them. You can offer a book, a website, a tool, an AI prompt, offer something of value to them. And as they're talking about their work, eventually they'll reciprocate and probably ask you about your work, and you can share what you're doing in that city that they are in, of Orlando, Baltimore, Vegas, wherever that live event is. And that's much more effective of having a conversation and being a human with them than sending them a pitch or a message or anything that's written, that looks like it's written by AI with lots of M dashes.
Yeah. Can I add one thing to that, Tom?
Yeah.
Folks, the thing I do is real simple. I always, I never pitch. I always engage. I always ask them what they're doing and how's it going with what they're doing. And the theories always used to be, whenever they get finished, no matter how long the diatribe might be of telling you how they're doing, at some point they'll probably ask you how you're doing. And then your question is, what you're going to have to think about is, what are you going to say when they ask you? Well, the job is great, but what I'm really excited about is, boom, let's say you're doing this part-time, right? Family's great, but let me tell you what I'm really excited about. I don't know if you've been watching the news lately. So again, sometimes you're just opening the door, and the best way to open the door is ask, this is my standard pitch. It's on my phone. I copy and paste it. Great to connect. Please tell me more about what you're doing in solar. That's how I open up. I never, ever pitch. They get those 100 times an hour. I got to roll. Thanks, Tom.
Good.
This is amazing.
That's good, man. Thanks.
Anybody needs me, reach out.
Let's put that in the notes here.
See what AI would say.
Great to connect. Tell me more about what you do in solar.
Show them you care. Show them you give a shit before you start pitching them about what you do. Everybody does that. Be different. Right?
Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Bobby. Last here, we talked about find the cities within a 45-minute drive. I wanted to throw this in because it was something that I did 2 weeks ago that I thought was kind of cool. So maybe I'll toot my own horn a little bit. So I used a tool called Faloo. That's funny, it auto-corrected it. Faloo. It's an agentic browser. And I had it make me a list. I had it log into my Facebook and make me a list of all of the Facebook groups that were within a 45-minute, that were within Dundalk, Maryland, and I listed the other states or the other cities that were around Dundalk that I wanted to look for Facebook groups in. So it spit out a CSV file of all of these Facebook groups. And then what I did is I put in this prompt into ChatGPT with that list. I just grabbed a screenshot of the list that had the description and everything in the the CSV file. And if you've ever tried posting in Facebook groups, you know that it's challenging because there's so many different kinds of Facebook groups locally And so what this one does is it looks at the name of the Facebook group, the description of the Facebook group, and it writes a different post for each one of those Facebook groups that you can use. So I thought that was an interesting thing that I'd share with you as well. And I wanted to show you Faloo as an agentic browser. We're on the hour, but I wanted to see, let me stop sharing. I'll bring up Faloo. And let's see if it will actually share Faloo. There we go. And dump that over there. So the link to this is in the chat. I will share that now. And I will say that this is an agentic browser. I've done things like, interesting, it's not pulling that up. So I've had it do things like identify the local influencers on social media between multiple social media platforms in a certain area around HVAC, real estate, the people that we want to talk to. And this is an agentic browser. And so what I told it to do is find me all the Facebook groups for real estate agents within a 45-minute drive of Orlando, Florida. It's an agentic AI, so it will take your prompt and it will figure out how to do that. So what it did is it said, it split up into tasks. So it's searching my Facebook page, logging into my Facebook, and it'll search these different areas. And you may need to try it a couple times here, but I wanted you to see what it's actually doing because it's pretty cool. So it's using 4 different tabs right now because it's an agentic AI browser. It's logged into my profile. You can see my, my profile picture right there. And it's searching for Winter Park Realtor there. It's searching for Lake County Realtor here. And it will, sometimes you need to do it a couple times. I've got a bunch of stuff going on in the background as well. But it will work for you even if you are doing something else on your computer. You can try things like Manus as well, but Manus has a credit limit per day for free accounts. Faloo is a free account, and it's in that training notes document that I shared in the chat. If you don't get in, and if you want to sign up and you don't get in, go to Faloo's X profile, their Twitter profile, and many days they will post an invite code that will actually let you into Faloo because it's they have a limited amount of people that they let into Faloo on a regular daily basis. So, all right, let me see what else I wanted to say, if anything here. Oh yes, I wanted to show one more thing. You can create websites with Faloo as well. And so let me show you an example of what I did. So if you are, whatever you're asking it to do, you can tell it to put that together into a report for you. And this is an example of a lot of different data that it went out and found and put together into this public link for me. And this was, top international remote work destinations. And Faloo is very powerful and it's free, which is why I wanted to mention it to y'all. So it went in and it looked at, for remote workers, solar and home energy professionals targeting the US market. So it looked at time zone compatibility, internet reliability, cost of living, and how easy it is to get a visa. And it ranked all these different cities, and you can see that as far as just countries, Mexico is number one. Malta, which is one of my favorite countries, was last. That was sad. But it's interesting, it's got all of its references that it used here. But there may be a use for you in local marketing, local events as well, of sharing things with your team. So I just wanted to mention that as well. So hopefully there's a lot more to this topic, but I want to just kind of share today some of the things that I have been thinking through and working on. I've got to jump into Charles Thompson team meeting here after this. But any questions that you have? So the name of that browser, it's in that document that I shared. I'll post a link to that in the chat as well. But I wanted to see if there was any questions that I could help with before I jump off here into another meeting.
Hey, Tom, if you've got any automated systems reaching out via chat or via voice conversational, I don't know if you've tapped into any of the conversational voice AI. How do you, if you're using like Twilio or something like that, how do you get the numbers registered so that they're not coming in spam or they're not automatically blocked? Do you have you?
Are you talking about reaching out to homeowners?
Yeah, reaching out to homeowners, lead lists, age solar leads, things like that. If you're reaching out with chat systems or you're reaching out with voice systems, how do you get the
It's
numbers?
expensive. It's expensive. You got to buy a bunch of numbers.
Buy a bunch of telephone numbers. So there's no formula for getting those numbers certified.
I've never done that before, but I know you got to buy a bunch of numbers.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I'm just using like 2 numbers, but the problem is that the connect rate is low. But when it calls me, when I test it, it's not showing up for spam or anything. So I'm not really sure. I'm using Twilio numbers.
Try buying different numbers, because it may be coming up as spam because somebody else used that number to spam a bunch of people, and that number is now registered as a spammer. So you can, I know that like on emails, if you're cold emailing, like if I wanted to cold email 10,000 businesses in Orlando, I would not use my company email, my work email to do that, because if a certain percentage of people report that as spam, then now when I email Michael a proposal after we just had our presentation, now it lands in your spam box, right? Because I've been reported as a spammer on that email. So you have to buy 5, 10, 20 different email domains and use Gmail or Outlook and send 20, maybe 25 messages a day per email address after you've warmed them up. And eventually one of those or more of those is going to get marked as spam. You just turn that off and plug in another, domain, like a satellite domain, like tomcotter.com is my work email. So I buy tomcotter.biz, tomcotter.info, that are all similar to that domain. Since this is about, promotion of local events, one of the things that you can do with AI voice is use a tool called Agent X, and you can, I think it's too expensive to call everyone on a list, but what I think would be useful is taking your RSVPs and running that through something like Agent X to significantly bump up the people that actually show up to your event. Like if you've got 100 people on an RSVP list, maybe 40 or 50 of them show up if you just send a text and or email reminder. But if you have AI call them, or you could call them too, but it's, in this case, it's 100 phone calls. I think it would be a significant bump in the people that actually show up if you use a tool like that.
Okay.
So that's a
Great.
different question than or a different answer from the question that you asked.
Yeah, I don't
But-
know if I can ask another question. I'm just trying to figure out who to call. I see all these signs posted outside the Wawas, you know, go do this, go do that. Here's an event, whatever. I saw a solar sign posted in my neighborhood outside of a Dunkin' Donuts. I'm just wondering, is that township by township? Do you have to get licensed to put those signs up? You know, I'm just wondering who to call, who to start with, or are they just putting them up there? And you know how the realtors put their signs up and stuff, you know?
Yeah, it's permission based.
Yeah.
You know, if it's an HOA, it's, you know, like an HOA entrance to an area, you're asking that HOA, you know, to put that up. If it's a customer or somebody that you know, it's, you know, maybe setting them up as an ambassador and having a code on that sign that they're going to get, you know, $1,000 for each person that comes in from that sign.
Yeah, I always post outside my installs and I haven't really gotten any other permission, but HOAs might complain about that. But no, I'm just thinking about like at intersections in general, you know, like out in the town anywhere, you know what I mean? But I guess it must be the township that permits
Yeah,
it.
as long as ChatGPT gives you permission, you're good. You can just use that as an excuse.
I'll check ChatGPT.
Yeah. I mean, you could do them a favor and you could go out and you could actually take down all the stuff that's old, you know, like the gun show sign that's been there for 6 months that nobody took down, and then replace it with your sign. You know,
Yeah.
that way you're cleaning up and adding stuff, and then make sure afterwards you take down your sign too.
Yeah.
All right, everybody, I'm going to jump over to another Zoom. Thank you. I hope you got a few things that were interesting out of that. This will be posted on YouTube, and thanks, everybody. See you soon.
Thank you, Tom.
The crazy.